Hello! Yay! People are here. Hey, gang. What is up? Oh my gosh, everyone's coming so quickly. Hello, everyone. Hello. Wow, this is amazing. I can't see you all or hear you all. Oh, we've got people saying hello. Oh, here we go. Hey, hi. Hey, Sadie. Hey, Stella. Hey, Helen. Hey, Chloe. This is so cool. This is my first webinar. Never done one before. So I'm super excited. Okay, we'll just give it a couple more minutes for everyone to join. How are we all doing? Have we had any time to get out into the sunshine? Hello. Oh, everyone's saying hi. How lovely. You're sunburned. Oh no, we've got a sunburn. Everyone make sure that you're putting on sun cream. I wonder if I can make this chat a bit bigger so I can see it a bit better. There we go. Oh, I know, but I hope we're all staying positive and productive in this isolation period. Okay, so basically this is my webinar that's called Audition Tips for a West End Show. Basically what I've done is made a PowerPoint. I haven't made a PowerPoint since probably in college. Actually, I think I made one at drama school. So bear with me on my PowerPoint skills, but I am very impressed with it. It took me a long time, so I'm very impressed. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to share my screen. Um, 2 seconds. Desktop. Share. All Zoom. Give me 2 secs. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm just having some technical difficulties. Okay, let's try again. Share screen. Yes. Can you see that? Okay, I've got to open system preferences. I'm guessing you can all see it. Let me check the chat. Yay, you can all see it. Yay. Okay, let's hit it with my PowerPoint extravaganza. I'm so sorry about this, guys. Right. Okay, I'm going to keep... This is so cool. Okay, hang on. I need to get rid of this thing. Ah. Hang on. Can you all see the chat? Because the chat's on my thing. Hang on. Oh no. Okay. I'm going to leave that down here. Right, let's start again, shall we? The concentration phase. Oh. The concentration phase is so real. Right. Hello. Sorry, I just moved that section. My name is Grace Mouat, and this is my audition tips for a West End show. Let's just get going before I make some more technical difficulties any worse for myself. Okay, so my name is Grace Mouat. Sorry that I'm in the screen. I don't know what to do about that. I'm 23 years old. If there's also, I'm going to do time for questions at the end. So if there's anything that like catches your brain, remember it for the questions later. But I think I might cover it. I'm a musical theatre performer. I'm represented by Paling and Jenkins. They are my agents. You can't see the word Paling, but it's Stephen Paling and Debbie Jenkins. They're my amazing agents. And they're wonderful. After college, after sixth form college, I had a gap year before going to Guildford School of Acting and graduating with a first class BA honours in musical theatre. I have been in 3 BYMT projects. Yay! So this on the left was my favourite ever BYMT project. Actually, one of the best shows I've ever done in my whole life. And that was Soul Music at the Rose Theatre, Kingston. Sorry, it's really bad quality, but it was based on a Terry Pratchett novel. I played the role of Susan, who was Death's granddaughter. It's very cool. There's trailers online. It was the best summer of my life. And it was actually directed by Luke Shepherd, who directed And Juliet. Yeah, it was amazing. Top right was in 2013. That was The Drowning Pond. That was in Aberdeen at the Lemon Tree Theatre. It was really cool. I got some like friends for life from there. Martha Kirby, I did Drowning Pond with. I don't know how I can check that you can. I'm just trusting that you can definitely see this. And then the top left, that's me in the frame looking hella cute. That was my first BYMT project, which was hang on, can you all see the PowerPoint? Yes, I just want to make sure you can. Yes, okay, cool. I just wanted to double check because I panicked a bit then, because I could see people typing and I was like, oh no. I'm going to move this over and play again. So yes, the bottom right corner was my first ever BYMT project in 2012. Seems ages ago now. That was Tessa D'Urberville's that I did with amazing writer Pippa Cleary, who is now part of Jake and Pippa, and they wrote really cool stuff. Jet Set Go, Adrian Mole. And yeah, made some really good friends there as well, who I still see now. Actually, a guy called Callum, I don't know if Callum's here, but he came up to me at the stage door of And Juliet. Oh no, it was at 6. And he looked at me and he was there like, do you remember who I am? And he, like, in 2012, he was like up to my like hip. He was one of like the younger guys in the cast in Tessa D'Urberville's, and now he was towering above me. I literally looked at him. I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I know who you are." So like, everyone like stays in contact. The group chats are all still going. So like, yes, big up BYMT. Let's carry on with stuff about me. Since graduating from GSA, I've been in 2 West End shows. 6, just like that, and Juliet. So 6, at first we did a 6-month UK tour, which included a 5-week run in West End, and then we were in West End altogether. I was in the show for 15 months, and then I went on to And Juliet, which we did at the Manchester Opera House, and we're now at the Shaftesbury. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. Okay, so let's crack on with auditions. So the general process is the casting director puts out a breakdown on Spotlight. So they'll be like, this is the show that we're casting. Sometimes it's quite secretive, sometimes it's not, but they'll put like a description of who they're looking for, what they're looking for, etc. Your agent then will see the breakdown and decide if you are right for the job, and then submit you for the job. This is why it's very important to have a very strong relationship with your agent, so that they know you well, to know what you're right for, know what to put you up for and submit you for. The creative team, usually the casting director, then decide who they want to see. So they're on their Spotlight. They have special Spotlight pages. Spotlight should have explained this, is basically like a big website union thing where everyone has like their CVs, and it's for performers, casting directors, agents to use and access, and it just helps the audition process speed along because it's all done through that. So then the casting director will go through all the people who've been submitted and decide who they want to see for the audition. This is why it's like so hard to even get an audition, let alone get the job. It's just as hard to even get into the room. You'll then get notified by your agent if you have got the audition. So now I'm going to show you my first email that I had from my agent when I got an audition for 6. So this is it. It might have changed now. This was a very, very long time ago. Basically says what they are asking people to prepare. I'm pretty sure all of this was on the open audition stuff. It tells you the time of the audition. So you have an audition with Kenny Wax Limited for 6. God, what a throwback this is. Monday the 16th of April. Oh, that's coming up. 5 days away. Oh, that'll be 2 years ago. At 2:05, and then just says what they're looking for. Gives you. They were very nice because they even gave you a suggestion of songs to sing. So, and then on the right side, it says what they were looking for. Describes the role, so that I wasn't in for any specific role. I don't think anyone was at the start. And then, yeah, it kind of, I haven't put all of it in there because it then goes on to say about contracts and things like that, and I don't want to share that stuff. But it says about like how they are looking to see people from all ethnicities, all races, all self-identifying performers. So it was amazing, and I always tell people how amazing their breakdown was. And for a graduate, which I was at this time, it was so refreshing to have a breakdown in from a company saying, we just want to see everyone, and people with personality and people who have sisterly sassitude, as it says there. Okay, so the audition begins. Dun, dun, dun. No, I'm joking. So basically, I'm just going to go through like all the different types of auditions now. So they don't really happen in like any particular order. It could literally, like I've talked about self-tapes, but in a time like this, like some people had first rounds and then happen to do self-tapes now, or sometimes they do self-tape and then they do the first round and then they do material and then they do the finals. Or some people do, like, I've been in for things that I've had 7 rounds. I've also been in for things that I've had 4. I've also been in for things that I've had 3. So all like really depends on the show, on the people who are available to come in, because sometimes you could go and do an audition, a like recall, then you have to come back and do another recall because the choreographer couldn't make it to that initial recall. So it doesn't mean that like it's another stage. It could just be another time that you have to go back in, if that makes any sense. Okay, self-tapes. So basically, I'm going to be completely honest right now. I only just did my first ever self-tape the other day, just because that's the way that my audition life has turned out. Some people have done like loads, like endless ones, but I had my first one the other day, and it was actually a very, very interesting experience because I'm such a perfectionist, and the thing with self-tapes is you have the opportunity for it to be good because it isn't live, I guess. So basically I was like a little bit stressed about it. It took like the whole day to do it, but now I've learned from that. It will never happen again. But it was always going to be like that for your first self-tape. You just got to set the day aside and just relax as much as you can. So yeah, so this is what from doing my first self-tape, I've now decided that I'm going to approach them with more of a positive light and look at them as an opportunity to get to an opportunity to get to know yourself as a performer. Because I was watching my self-tape back being like, I can't believe I do that when I perform, or I can't believe that I've never noticed that. So it was actually a really interesting opportunity to like critique yourself and get to know what you do. So now I'm going to use this time that we're self-isolating to give myself like mock self-tapes, which is a really good idea for people who are wanting to go into the industry. You can get your agent to do it with a friend, or just do it on your own. Give yourself a show to audition for, give yourself a song to audition with, film yourself doing it, watch it over as if you are a casting director watching this for the role, and just critique yourself and help yourself out a bit. But yes, first and foremost, don't be scared of self-tapes, because they aren't as scary as you need to make them out to be. I just panicked because it was my first one. Okay, bit more practical side, have good lighting. So it can be like natural light, or you can invest in a ring light. I would suggest it. They're really good investments, especially if you get one late at night or late in the day that has to be for the next day, and you have to really quickly do it, and then there's no natural light. So there's the ring light like creates that natural light, makes you look cute. There's some really good ones online. I have a really mini one. Yeah, I can find it. I am going to invest in a better one, but this was like a tenner on Amazon. You just plug it in. It has some little buttons on it. You can change it from like a cool light to a warm light, and you can change the intensity on it. I also got it because I've just started vlogging, so it helps with that as well. But yeah, I would definitely invest in one of the ones that this woman got. I'm pretty sure that they're available for like £20 to £30 on Amazon. Brilliant self-tapes. Yeah, so a good light is everything. Make sure your face is nice and clear and you can see your face very well. Sound levels. So give yourself a sound check, because there's nothing worse than doing so many takes. This is from experience. So many takes and then watching it back and realizing that the sound levels were wrong the whole time. It's so annoying. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do it all over again. And my voice is a bit knackered because I just did it 3 times, not realizing that the sound was not right. So just do a few tests and then listen back just to make sure that, because especially if you're using backing tracks or recordings for a self-tape, if you're not lucky enough to get hold of a pianist, which a lot of people, especially right now, aren't, unless you live with a pianist, which is great. It's often that the backing track can drown out the voice, and you don't want that. So yeah, waist up. So I kind of say to do self-tapes from the waist up, or it can be from like here, from chest up. You just want to make sure it's not like here, but make sure that you can still see your face very clearly, so it's not too far forward. Show personality. It's a very hard thing with self-tapes where on camera everything looks so much bigger than it is, especially when it's a self-tape and it's a clear background, because you should have a clear background preferably. Obviously in a time like this people are willing to compromise, but yeah, what am I saying? Oh yeah, everything looks so over the top, so you kind of have to do like a self-tape version of acting on stage, if you know what I mean. So I wouldn't be like, like, not saying that I do that on stage, probably do, but yeah, you just got to kind of bring it in a bit, just dulling down the arm movements and everything. Just having a nice grounded stillness will really help you go far. But yeah, show a bit of personality, especially if you get the chance to introduce your song and yourself. Sometimes you have to say like, my name is Grace Mouat and I'm represented by Paling and Jenkins. You don't want to be like, my name is Grace Mouat and I'm represented by Paling and Jenkins, because it's just it's not going to be good. And just, yeah, be relaxed and cheerful and positive and confident about what you're about to present. I'd recommend wearing something plain. Obviously this girl in this top is wearing a striped top, like that's also fine. When I say something plain, I mean don't wear like, obviously it might be for a specific part, but if it's just a general audition, I would wear like a plain nice colour, maybe not something too baggy, something, you know, like shows your posture and, you know, nice presented, something like this, or like a nice blue top, or like a nice colour that you like, a nice blouse, a nice shirt, something that you look presentable, and then I put maybe even a hint to the character. So say you're doing a self-tape for 6, don't like dress up as a Tudor queen. If you're doing a self-tape for 6, maybe I would wear like something I'd wear on like a night out, like a nice black going out top, or like something that gives me kind of like a girl band sassy vibe, you know, because that's the kind of vibe of the show. Or like maybe a colour that the character would wear. So say you were in for like Peggy in Hamilton, Maria Reynolds wears that nice red dress, so you could wear like a nice red top. You know what I mean? Just something that's a little hint. If you're going in for Les Mis, like you wouldn't wear like an luminous yellow top because it's a very dark show. But always look presentable. So brush your hair, put a bit of slap on. Like even though we're locked down, no one's wearing makeup. If you're doing self-tape, look pretty. Exactly the same as you would, like prepare yourself as if you were going into a real life audition. Look cute. Okay, that's all on self-tapes. Any other questions, please let me know later on when I do the questions at the end, because I'm not reading the comments right now. Okay, first rounds, face-to-face, own song. Okay, so preparing your own song, you will usually get like a specific thing to prepare. So for example, pre-1960s legit and a contrasting contemporary song, or you'd get a pop song, or you'd get they're the main three. Legit song, MT, standard, and a pop song. So with these, I think it's always important when you like at the end of the day, the most people in musical theatre have about 2 songs for each of these categories, and they just use these songs because it's so important to be comfortable in what you sing. There's nothing worse than thinking like, oh, it's a new show, I need to get a new song for this. If you have like a general song that works for a lot of things, I would really, it's not being lazy, it's not, I'd really recommend using that. I have a song called Man Behind the Mask from Zorro, and it isn't a legit song, but it is a kind of epic legit musical theatre. And when I say legit, it's kind of like think of Les Mis, Phantom. These are the kind of legit musicals, those kind of classical inspired musicals. And like the pre-1960s legit would be like all the Rodgers and Hammersteins, Oklahoma, King and I, Flower Drum Song, etc. This is what I'm talking about when I say legit. Sorry, I kind of sometimes use phrases and then don't explain them. So if that happens, save it for the questions and I will be sure to help you out. So where was I? Oh yeah, it's important to be sung. I have a song called Man Behind the Mask. I'm very open to share that with you all. Some people aren't, but by all means, it's an amazing song, take it. And it's kind of like an epic legit, so it sounds like it would be perfect in like Les Mis or something, which is great because then I could take that to a Les Mis audition and be like, this is Man Behind the Mask. That's my kind of, and then in terms of a like standard musical theatre song, I would always choose a song that shows a bit of your personality as through a character. So for example, I think an amazing song for that is The Spark of Creation from Children of Eden, because I think it has that buzzing energy and like something that I feel like I have, like a real optimism. So I take that to songs a lot, and it's also shows great range. And yes, a lot of people know it, but there's a reason that a lot of people do it at auditions. It's not like you're singing like I Dreamed a Dream. It's still like a, you know. So if you want to sing it, sing it. That's what I say about that matter. There's a lot of talk about like overdone songs. Yeah, that's my opinion. There's a lot of opinions out there. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So yeah, I take that. Pop songs, I always sing Black Heart by Stushy because it has a bit of comedy in it, perfect for a show like Six, because a lot of pop musicals are like, for example, like Six and Juliet, Rock of Ages, pop rock musicals. A lot of the characters are very personality driven. So I think especially in your pop songs, it's so important to either take a comical song that you can make comical, like Black Heart. I kind of tried to make comical, did quite well. But then also, I would also take a ballady pop song. So I would take Beautiful Disaster, the live version by Kelly Clarkson. That's great to show a bit of ballad, bit of riffage, all that jazz. So that's my audition songs, but then there's hundreds and thousands out there. So yeah, but what I would say is make sure that it's a song that you love and that you are comfortable singing, that sits well in your voice, because it could sit well in your voice when you're practicing in the bedroom, but then you have to remember all the factors when you go to an audition. Nerves, you're being watched, like you might be a bit stressed and have, like, you know, nerves make a very big difference to your voice because they change the muscles and the setup in your voice if it gets bad. So having a song that you know is in your voice, you've done it in your sleep, it will be more likely to come out, instead of learning a brand new song and being like, yes. Prepare a song that you can act through. So this is a general thing. This is like my biggest audition tip forevermore. Preparing a song that you can act through. Panels are always looking for actors first. Now this is even with legit musicals. Sometimes with a legit show, or like legit songs, for example, like I Have Dreamed from The King and I'm very easily go into legit acting. So being like, I have dreamed, do you know what I mean? Instead of like bringing it in. They always want to see that you can act and act like yourself, even if it's in a song that was written in 1965. So make sure you always act. That's that. Make choices, stick with them, commit. Stay calm, spoke about that. Show that if you've done the work, make sure it sits comfortably in your voice and show that you love the song. Panels will be able to tell if you don't like the song you're singing. Show that you've done the homework. So even if you're singing a song from a different musical for a musical theatre audition, you still want to show that you know what your song is about, because you never know, they might turn around and be like, so what happened in Children of Eden? Where's Eve been before this? Do you know what I mean? Don't move around the space too much. So usually an audition will be in like a studio. Sometimes they're on stage. It doesn't happen that much. Maybe in the finals. But you don't want the panel to be following you around. You don't want a full routine, especially if it's a song audition. Stay grounded and be strong, and it will make them a lot more drawn into what you're doing with your face and your voice, as opposed to what you're doing with your body. You know, some people have like a little sway. I used to be the person who would accent everything that I sing with my hands. So I do a lot of practicing, like singing with my hands glued to my legs. Oh yeah, eyeline. This is a very interesting one. Personally, this is a personal thing. People do loads of different stuff. I always look above the panel's head unless told otherwise. But you need to be adaptable. So, for example, at 6, they tell everyone to do their songs looking the panel in the eye. That is specifically because 6, the musical, you look the audience in the eye and you perform the show to the audience. With an audition for Les Mis, for example, it wouldn't be very likely that they would say, can you sing I Dreamed a Dream to my face? Probably wouldn't happen. So I always go above the eye, unless it's like a song that is quite like cheeky and like gets the audience involved, then you can have the panel. So yeah, always be adaptable. There's no right or wrong answer with this. I don't like it when people say there is, because everyone likes different things. On this, you can't see because you can see me, but it says they're used to all sorts. Like they probably get people dancing around, probably get people looking at them, probably get people coming up to them. Like, trust me. Again, look presentable, just like I said for a self-tape. Sheet music. Okay, the pianist. The pianist is literally the god of the audition room. The pianist has to be your best friend because they have the opportunity to ruin your career. No, I'm joking. But they do have the opportunity to, you know, you've got to be nice to your pianist. As if they ever would, like, ruin your audition. They wouldn't. But it's very important to make sure you speak their language. So not being like, putting the sheet music in front of them, being like, I'm going to start here, going to go at this pace, thanks. You should say, okay, I'm going to start at like the second bar, and then at the end, like, and then if you've made a cut, show them the cut. So I've just cut from this bar here and then turn over to this, easy peasy. And then tempos, like I do this, giving them a tempo, because some people don't like it when you click in their face, or tapping on or just doing it. So I'd be like, let me think of a song. I dreamed a dream in time gone by. Do you know what I mean? Instead of being like, I dreamed a dream. Do you know what I mean? I'm saying, do you know what I mean, as if anyone's going to reply. Yes, so always be polite to your pianist and say thank you and say hello and make them feel welcome. And then at the end, I said, make sure you make eye contact before you start. Make sure you make eye contact at the end as well. So look them in the eye. Thank you for your time. Look at the pianist. Thank you. When you walk in, hello, how you doing? They might ask you a question. Might be like, how's your current show going? How was your time at GSA? What have you done today? Anything. Because sometimes they like to ask a little question just to get to know you before you sing. Yeah. For the Anne Juliet auditions, I know that Luke Shepherd and Stuart Burt, they were calling people to sit by the table with them, just have a little chat, just to be like, and they asked me about how, I'd come back from the Edinburgh Fringe that day, and they're like, how was it? Did you have fun? Yeah, God, it shows how long ago my audition for Anne Juliet was. Whew! Anyway, yeah, so they'll just chat to you, and it's not a test, it's just to get to know you a bit before, so they can see a bit of you instead of just the person performing. Dance calls. Okay, dance calls. I was really shocked, actually. I don't know whether it was just for the shows that I ended up auditioning for. Apart from one show, what was the audition? Fame. Nick Winston's Fame. I'm not dancing enough for that. But all the auditions that I went to were actually a lot more relaxed and actually a lot more simple than I thought they were going to be. Because you must remember, with dance calls, they are auditioning for a company. They're not always auditioning for dancers. So, like, think of Anne Juliet. Like, everyone would have had to do an audition for that. Even the leads. Tim Hendren would have had to do a dance call. Ivan was in my dance call. Jocasta. Everyone, like, all different abilities have to do a dance call. Okay, so dance calls. Wear something appropriate for the style. A perfect example, Six. I always tell my friends who are auditioning for Six, take a heeled boot, because that's what we danced in the show. That's what they use in the show, heeled boot. And where I wore like black leggings with a like electric blue top, little hoop, red lip, hair out, back. You know what I mean? Little Mix vibes. And Juliet, I wore like a baggy Vans hip hoppy t-shirt with some like cycling shorts and some trainers. Hip hop. But then if I was auditioning for a chorus line, I wouldn't wear that. I'd wear a leotard and tights and either jazz shoes, ballet shoes, foot thongs, whatever you wish, bare feet. So yeah, just know the show you're going in for. If it's for like a periody piece, maybe wear like a long skirt and over a leotard. If you're doing like a waltzy kind of thing. And again, if it's for like a general musical theatre audition, girls, I would bring some form of heel just in case. Yeah. Looking for, again, said earlier, looking for actors first. It's just as important to act and perform through a dance as it is to have technique and point your feet and know the choreography. People who like act through auditions, they're always the people who panels look at. I've seen it firsthand. Yeah, just show a bit of personality. It's fun. I actually had, do you know who actually took my Anne Juliet audition? Kirsty Skivington took my Anne Juliet audition. And yeah, she said, she was just like, just show some personality, just have fun. And like the perfect time to do that is when there's like freestyle sections. So in the Juliet audition, the first dance was Can't Stop the Feeling, and the freestyle section was the Under the Lights Where Everything Goes. And they kind of said, pick your character to do. I can't even remember what I did. I think I did some like salsa dancing, I don't know. But some people were like being like some cool guy in the club, like under the lights. Some people were doing flips. Some people were giving it, partying in the club with the girls. You know, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a whole routine. Details. So I've kind of put the similar point a bit further down. The choreographer, the person taking the dance call, will be very specific when they want you to show personality, and they'll be very specific when they have a detail. And they're not doing it to catch you out at all. They're just doing it because they want you to do well and they want you to take on the details. So if like a choreographer was like, oh, by the way, everyone, on that move when we go like up, down, doing something really, really basic. When you bring your hand down, make sure you bring it to the shoulder instead of like to like all the way down. Just bring it to the shoulder. If you then go boom, boom, and bring it all the way down, it just shows that like you weren't listening. So always listen to the details. Following on from that, people in most dance calls are actually very relaxed. Well, shows that I've been in for anyway, which is lovely. And they are more than happy for you to, oh my gosh, how has time gone so quick? They're more than happy for you to ask questions. Now, when someone else asks a question in the audition, listen, because it could help you. And then if you later go on to realize that you need to ask that question about the dance as well, then they might be like, oh, someone just asked that, you're not listening, because you were focusing on something else and you weren't focused in the room. So always stay on it, focused. If you cannot see what the choreographer is doing or the person leading at the front, you are in your right to swap lines. Every person in that audition, whether there's anything going on that someone already knows that they are got further than you have or whatever, everyone is within their right to be seen and have a good audition. If you're at the back, just by chance, and you cannot see, ask to swap lines. It's perfectly reasonable, happens all the time. Sometimes you don't even have to ask, they'll just do it. Yeah, I think I've done all that. Details, have fun, stay smiley, don't be there like, oh, it's nerve-wracking, but as soon as you relax, the choreography will come to you, trust me. Okay, recalls, preparing material. Sometimes you'll go straight in material, sometimes, well, usually it's recalls. Right, do your homework. You have to know the show if you're going to sing a song that a casting director has auditioned thousands and thousands of people, probably for quite a few years. They know every in and out of the show. So you need to show that you know it too. Character trying to accomplish in that scene. Don't get too attached to your choices in terms of acting choices and vocal choices, because it's very likely that they'll workshop the material with you. So for example, let me give an example of a song. Say you were singing the beginning of Hamilton, Helpless. And you know the song, the beginning has to go, ooh, I do. So say someone went in and went, ooh, I do. They might be like, can you just do that again, but belt it? So you'd be like, ooh, I do. Do you know what I mean? So anything like that. And then they might be like, oh, sorry, could you just take the second verse of Hearthstone and just make it a little bit more like driving forward with the song? Something like that. Oh, could you do that again, but could you just do that to the panel? Could you do that again, but could you just do it as if you were speaking to the other character across the room and they're trying to run away from you? Little things like this. It's likely. So don't get so attached to your decisions that you've made whilst practicing the song that you can't do anything else. You have to be open with the material. Etiquette. Oh yeah, same etiquette rules apply in terms of being nice to the pianist. It's all the same. I wouldn't worry too much about like all the tempo of everything, because they've probably been playing that material since 9 a.m. Dress appropriately. Again, if you want to give a hint of the character, that's great. You don't have to go in a full costume. If you don't want to do a hint of the character, that's also fine. Just look smart. Bring an extra song of choice. You never know. They asked me at my Juliet recall. They might ask you anytime. Always have a song choice in that you can just pull out, and also with your own song as well. They'll ask you to prepare 2 songs usually. I always bring 4 just in case. You never know, they might have heard those songs 10 times that day and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, but have you got anything else? Just because they want to hear something different. It's not your fault and it's not theirs, so you just got to get on with it. So yeah, especially with material. So say if it was like an audition for Les Mis and you're preparing Fontaine Neptune material, I would also bring The Man Behind the Mask at the back of my folder, just in case they're like, I think the reason they do it is just because they want to see your personality and they want to see you not as that character. Try your best to be off book. This may depend on the amount of time you have had to learn it. Yeah, it is best to be off book. I'm going to be honest, because it makes you more easier to work with. I always keep my folder nearby just in case I have a panic and then I'm like, oh, can I just quickly check over that word? They'll be more than happy for you to do that. Don't worry about getting the words wrong. You're a human being. But yeah, if you got sent the audition the night before, it's very unlikely that they'll expect you to be off book. So don't worry about that too much. Again, you can contact your agent if you need to about that. Finals, stay calm. They want you to do well. Always, this is another top audition tip I have. Casting panels wouldn't call you in if they didn't want you to be good. If they're never there to judge you. They want you to make their job easier and be the person that they can cast in this show. You should be notified as to who will be on your panel, and there may be a very big panel, especially in the finals, because it's when all the writers, producers, everyone comes. Understand that they all used to be amazing, and also that they're all human beings. The story that I had with my Juliet final, there was 16 people, and all of the other rounds there'd only been 2. So this was a big shift, and one of those people on the panel was Max Martin, who wrote all the music. And I was singing Hit Me Baby One More Time to the writer of Hit Me Baby One More Time, and I was shook. But a lot of people in the audition who I was chatting to, like, oh my gosh, Max Martin's in there. And I was like, okay, but Max Martin is also human. And he deserves the same amount of respect as you would give a casting director or a director. And people were kind of saying like, oh, just look above when you walk in, don't bother looking, and like you'll be fine. And I was like, I think personally, again, this is a personal thing, I will be more calm if I walk in, I look everyone in the eye, say hello, and I look at Max Martin in the eye and I go, okay, you're Max Martin, I'm about to sing Hit Me Baby One More Time in front of you. I obviously didn't say that out loud, but in my head that's what I was thinking, and it just made me so much more at ease, because he was there like, hey, like he's not gonna be there like, because he's a lovely guy. People always forget, like when the writers come in, like, to be fair, if I was auditioning for Waitress when Sarah Bareilles was in there, I'd be like, oh my gosh, Sarah. No, but you know what I mean. Just look everyone in the eye, say hello, crack on, and then you can look above again if you want to. But yeah, that's a nice thing that usually they do when you have final auditions. They'll message you saying, by the way, here's who's going to be on the panel. Yeah, and what will be. You got this far, be proud of yourself for that in general. Right, I must carry on because I've only got 15 minutes. I want to answer a few questions. Oh, here we go. Let's just stay here. General audition tips. Talk to the other people when you audition. It will keep you so much calmer. Just say, hey, how are you? Like, you'll probably have mutual friends. You'll probably know a lot of people in your audition. It'll just make it feel more like a workshop or a class as opposed to audition. And it makes you more inclined to like have fun, and like in the freestyle section you can party with your new friend who you met in the corridor. Presentation, as I said, look presentable, don't put pressure on yourself, communicate with your agent. If you are very nervous because it's your dream job, call your agent and say, can you call me after this audition, because I need you to reassure me that everything is okay. Hopefully you should have that kind of relationship with an agent. Acquaint yourself as much as possible with the character material. As I said, if taking a CV, make sure it's up to date and easy to read. Usually you don't have to because it's all on Spotlight. Be comfortable with your material, make sure it sits well in your voice, even with nerves on top. Timekeeping, always arrive early. If I have an audition at 2:00, I'll be there at 1:30. It's just important for your mindset to be like, okay, this is the space, this is the people, this is what's happening, instead of rushing in. You never also know about travel, especially if you're getting a train. Arrive warm, make sure you've done everything you need to do at home so that by the time you're at your audition, you've already warmed up. Posture, I have a very bad tendency of doing this. I've done this the whole thing. Keep shoulders back, presentable. Obviously, it depends on the character, but when you walk into a room, keep a good posture and smile. I also didn't mention open auditions. I haven't actually been to one before, but from what I know, it's all the same rules apply in terms of etiquette, pianist, presentable, smiling, all that jazz. But also there might be an opportunity and you will be waiting for a very long time. You need to know you just have to stay positive and know that people do get jobs from open auditions. They wouldn't do them otherwise, I promise you. Right, that's my slideshow. Woo! Thank you. Okay, get your question into the Q&A box. I'm going to open this up. And we've got 10 minutes. Just so. If you could put your questions into the Q&A box instead of doing the into the comments, it might just be a little bit easier. Okay, let's go with Helen. If it is a large panel, would you suggest to shake everyone's hand going into the audition? I don't think it's necessary. I would only shake someone's hand in an audition if they put their hand out to shake mine. Chloe, how do you get an agent? So I got my agent through GSA at drama school, but you can also get an agent through emailing them your CV and maybe a show reel, a video of you singing, showing interest. But yeah, I think the easiest way and the most common route to get an agent is through drama school. Agents will come and watch your shows. How do I deal with nerves? All through breathing. Breathing is a big thing for me. As soon as I slow down my breath, my nerves will calm down, my heart rate will go down. So breathing exercises, like there's so many out there, just look them up on YouTube and there's some amazing ones. And there's all like this like nostril stuff as well. And also just reminding myself that what will be and being confident in what I can do and knowing that it's not necessarily my talent. If I wasn't to get the job, I might just not be right for it. How did you do your homework on Juliet characters? Because it's a new show. Very good question. With new musicals, I honestly, don't worry about that, because the thing with Juliet, it was so secretive. We didn't even know the name of the show. We were getting told it was the Max Martin musical when we were auditioning. So everyone was like, Max Martin. Just realised there's so many questions. I'm really sorry if I don't get through all of them. So yeah, it obviously depends on the circumstances. But with that, I just kind of studied the script as well as I could. I did the first scene, the why should I spend the rest of my life wasting away in a nunnery? And I kind of took it from the character of Juliet. You know, she's young, and in this show, she's obviously made out to be very optimistic. So I just kind of went with those decisions. Sorry, I'm talking so fast. How many West End shows you auditioned for? I don't know. I reckon maybe about 10. How do you keep your voice steady when nervous? How do you keep voice steady when nervous? Oh, again, I think it's all about calming the nerves first. But if you have to sing when you're nervous, energizing it a bit, if you know what I mean, just keeping on top of the energy, like in terms of vocals, but grounding yourself physically. Grounding yourself will really affect your voice. Do you have any tips for an audition where you do not prepare anything and they give you a song script there and then? I've never been in this situation. I think it's very rare, but I just think be open. They're not going to judge you if you make the wrong choice. They'll be like, oh, by the way, I really understand why you made that choice, but it's actually this. Could you try it again? Don't worry about it's never a trick. It's never a trick to see who's going to notice that it's about that, you know? But yeah, I think just maybe practice sight reading. in your spare time. But yeah, it's quite a rare thing. Izzy, how did you find an agent? Through GSA, they approached me from my drama school shows. Daisy, what should you do if you don't have an agent? Open auditions, emailing casting directors directly. It happens. Get a show reel, get a CV, get a video of you dancing, singing, everything, and email them. How do you stay fit while staying at home? This is a great one because you must stay fit for auditions, because you're going to the dance school, be like, just doing home workouts. I've been doing Joe Wicks, the body coach. He's great. Online classes. Yeah. Improv and confidence, me too. It's a very natural, very normal. You're not on your own. You've just got to have a laugh with it, I think. I've been lucky that I've never had to do too much improv, but I just make it a group effort, because everyone's scared about improv. I don't know many people who love it, so don't worry. What would you say is important to be a confident dancer? Acting through dance. It's a thing. It happens. You have to perform. If you have a straight face, you can tell that you're focusing too much on the choreography. Different song. Be cool for college. Should you do the same song as you did for the audition? I would always bring the same song, but maybe bring a new one as well. But always keep the same song as you go. Tips for getting into drama school, all the exact same for the auditions, and just make sure you show that you know what you're doing and you really, really want to do this. There's so many agents to recommend. My agent of agents, Paling Jenkins, are brilliant for commercial musical theatre. So, like, in terms of the Six Queens, me, Millie and Lauren Byrne are all with Paling Jenkins. They are brilliant for like big musicals. In terms of like TV and film, there's a lot more like Jonathan Aaron, Curtis Brown, who do a bit more widespread. But yeah, it kind of depends. There's some cruises, some agents that are really amazing with getting you on cruises. So it's all about just when you look them up on their websites and when you go to meet them, make sure you know what their thing is, as well as them knowing your thing. Give me an example of a contrasting song. Okay, so say they said 2 contrasting songs. I would maybe bring I Have Dreamed from The King and I, which is my standard, legit pre-1960s, and then I'd bring The Spark of Creation. So one is a ballad and like a very different vocal setup, and one is like belty setup in terms of vocals and upbeat and a bit more personality, and the other one is like a love ballad. So they're completely contrasting. GSA training. Also, why did you choose to take gap year? I didn't choose. I just didn't get in to drama school. But my gap year was the best year. It was just so much fun. GSA training. I think GSA is an amazing place where they train people to be great, like people and humans as well as performers. It's a very like family vibes. I loved it there. The audition was great. When I was doing it, they only did one song, but now they do a song and a dance. And then in the recall, they do like a whole day. So they really take the day to get to know you, which is great. It's not in, out, in, out. On my gap year, I went and saw loads of shows and continued my training with, I went to Pineapple, went to casting directors workshops, just did loads of stuff like that. Yeah, and I lived a normal life, which was great because it hasn't happened since, apart from now, actually. Did you walk out of drama school straight into a musical? I was very lucky. I did. I made my debut in Six the night after I graduated, or the day after I graduated. I can't remember. But yeah, it was like a 2-day thing, and it was like the most bizarre 2 days of my life. But it was just luck that the timing of Six happened with the time that I was graduated and that I was able to be seen for it. It's like, just, it doesn't mean anything if you don't walk out of drama school with a job. It really doesn't. Is it vital to have an agent? No, it's very much doable, but they do help. I would recommend trying to get one. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get through all these questions. I sing mezzo soprano. Finding songs, just looking online, chatting to friends, creating a repertoire. YouTube if you just type it in, they'll have loads of suggestions, and just listening to musicals and being like, oh, I like this song. What do you need to do to research for a show? Just Googling it, getting to know the storyline, getting to know the characters, maybe watch some clips, watch the trailer. Not too hard at all. So I only had trouble with people pronouncing your name. Yeah, I have. I kind of just get on with it. No, I wouldn't worry about your name. It's all about you as a person and your talent. Highly, would you recommend your training route you followed? I'm currently part of GSA Junior Conservatoire. Amazing. Do you know Maisie Hopkins? And would love to know what part of your training really helped you. Part of my training that was the most important was all the industry classes where they just told you about things like this, audition prep and things like that. So you guys got a head start. And also just getting up and doing it, and also the dance training. Yeah. Have I had a voice or skill set for MT? I would love to do MT, but I don't know if my voice is right. Get a singing lesson, and yeah, just take this question to a singing teacher and be like, what do you think about my voice? What's my voice type? Do you reckon I could do musicals? There's so many different voice types in musical theatre, so I'm sure you will be able to. What helped me choose my drum school? Firstly, I'm local to Guildford, so I was like, yes. Also, it's just because I'm local, I'd been to see loads of GSA third year shows, and I just remember being like, I have to go to this school. It's just amazing. So yeah, I always knew I was a GSA girl, and I also went to the GSA Saturday school. So I knew that I loved it, and I was taught by a lot of the teachers who taught on the degree. Do you think you have to go to art school if you want to be an actor? No, there's so many different routes. As I said, open auditions. How do you learn lines? I record and listen. Me too. I do that, and I just keep practicing it like a certain amount of times in the day. How do you choose songs for specific characters and auditions? I'll just try and choose like a song that's a bit like relatable to that character. So if I'm going in for Fantine in Les Miserables, I sing Man Behind the Mask because it's quite similar to I Dreamed a Dream. It's a ballad, it has belting numbers, and it's quite like it's a hopeful song, but also in quite a dark setting. So just a similar song. There's so many similar songs out there. If someone was auditioning for Six, they might take like a sassy Jessie J song if they were going in for Catherine of Aragon. Do you know what I mean? Keeping your voice alive when you're doing a show, steaming, straw work, and trying not to speak too much, because the show is when your voice is going to be very, very, very used, shall I say. I've got 1 minute left. Am I allowed to answer like a few more questions, go over a little bit? Is that okay? How many rounds? Hopefully it won't cut off. If you have to leave, I'm sorry. I'm going to answer 5 more questions. How many rounds was Six, and how many dance rounds? How skilled do you have to be at dancing? Six was around 4 rounds, and I think we danced in 2 of them. So I want to say the second round, maybe 3 of them. The second round, all the last rounds. But back then, when I was auditioning for the show, the dances were very different. They were just standard commercial dances because the choreography wasn't even made then. So we did like a Beyonce, Sussy, Put Your Freaking Dress On, whoa, that song. And then we did a Rihanna number, which was like really intricate, like microphone work. It was very cool. Did you do any professional work whilst at GSA? No, I didn't. But before that, I did BYMT. So I kind of had the vibe of professional life. London and Scottish Drum School, I don't think either gives you a better opportunity. I wouldn't worry about that at all. And let's do 3 more questions. This is a good one. How much could you get your hopes up about an audition afterwards? Like, should you be realistic or confident? I think it's about finding a balance of both. Like sometimes I will do an audition, I'll be so like, oh, I really, really want to do this audition. I really, really want to do this job. But yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? Because there's all like the stuff about like law of attraction, putting out into the universe, which is something I practice a lot. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's just about being confident and realistic when you're waiting. But if you get the rejection, not being like, oh, what? I put this out into the universe. Being like, okay, wasn't meant to be. That's fine. Do you have any tips for virtual college auditions? All the self-tape tips for virtual college auditions. Yeah, all those things I said before. Right, one more question. If I'm good at singing, acting, but not good at dancing, will I still have a chance? Yes, 100%. But I cannot recommend working on your dance too. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm so sorry I didn't get through all of those questions. I can't believe how many there was. I just realised I'm also still sharing this. But thank you so much. I have never spoke so much in my life. I'm really sorry if I didn't get round to your questions, but I am going to be doing some like Instagram lives and stuff where I can answer. So if you didn't get your question answered, please come and join my Instagram. Maybe next week I can arrange one to answer all the rest of the questions that I didn't get to answer. Yeah, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.